Hello and welcome to Optics Trade's YouTube channel. I have the second generation of Vortex Fury here today, the 5000 HD model, and in this short video I'm going to be talking about its features. First, let's say a few words about the company. Vortex opened its doors in 2002 and soon became popular. One of the reasons for that is their offer, which consists of optical devices that have great price to performance ratios. On top of that, Vortex has great warranty terms, and if the quality of their product is not enough for you, then their lifetime warranty is sure to convince you. They make optics for all price classes and have a huge range of products for pretty much every need. Their products are made in China, the Philippines, USA, and Japan. The first generation of Fury was introduced 2 years ago. Those were Vortex's first ever binoculars with an integrated laser rangefinder. How do such binoculars work? Well, basically they display distance to the observed object by emitting a laser beam, which then reflects from the observed object and travels back to the internal receiver on the device. The distance is determined based on the time that has elapsed between emission and reception. This here is the second generation of Fury, which was introduced this year, so in 2019, at SHOT Show in Las Vegas. In this review, I will first cover the outer appearance and then everything else, including the optical characteristics and the software found inside. In each section, I will also point out the differences from the first generation, and I will do a short recap at the end of this video. If we look at it, we can see that the outer appearance is almost completely identical to the first generation, with only some minor differences. The old model had Fury written here. This one has Vortex written on it. Here on the focusing knob, the name of the second generation can be found, and these are basically the only changes that have been made to the outer appearance. Vortex used the same form factor. This is 14.5 centimeters long. 14.5 centimeters long, 13 centimeters wide when fully extended, and it also weighs roughly the same, around 900 grams. There are still bulbs on the bottom which make the binoculars a little bit bulky. The binoculars are made in China just like the previous version. The aluminum housing is covered with rubber to protect the interior from blows. Holding the Fury is convenient, and these lines on the sides of the tubes will make your hands stay in place when observing. The battery compartment is on the bottom of the device. This cover here has to be unscrewed. The device operates on a CR2 battery, and you have to install it with the positive side facing in. Using a coin to unscrew this is unadvisable, as it will leave scratches on there. What about the eye cups? Well, they're rubberized and can be fixed in 4 positions altogether. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 positions, and comfortable to use whether or not you have glasses. The focus button is simple to use. The surface is designed so that the user has a firm grip, and the button is big enough for you to allow you to use it with both index and middle finger if you wish. So we also have diopter rings on both eyepieces. The display is in the right tube, so this ring right here on the right focuses the display. They can also be mounted on a tripod. The thread for mounting can be found underneath this cap here. To mount it on a tripod, you will need a binocular tripod adapter. There are still two buttons on the Fury, on exactly the same locations as on the first generation. They're rubberized. They can also be used when it's dusky, since the menu button is a little bit dented, while there are 4 dots on the measure button. And this feature allows you to clearly differentiate between the buttons without having to look at them, which is very useful. On the sides of the tubes there are notches for the strap attachment. Unfortunately, they're not flush with the surface, which means that you can quickly bang them against something, but this is only a minor issue. Now we've covered the outer appearance, and we can see that there are only a couple of really minor differences in the writing. Everything else is the same. What about the software? Well, there are 2 modes to choose from, exactly the same as with the previous generation, the HCD and the LOS mode. The LOS is the line of sight. This is the standard mode in which the distance to the object is measured, and the angle of the incline is listed next to the distance. In HCD mode, the equivalent horizontal range is provided based on the line of sight and the angle of the incline. This mode is useful for incline shots, and for hunting applications, a common scenario would be a camo hunt in the mountains. In the menu, you can also switch between meters and yards, set the illumination intensity of the display, and choose best or last mode, which is a new feature. So the last or best mode, and which one you pick depends on whether the terrain is sparsely or lushly vegetated. If there is lush vegetation and you wish to range something that is behind bushes or branches or whatever covers the target, then last mode is the best choice. For most other uses, best mode will do. Vortex claims that this device can range up to 5,000 yards or 4,600 meters, but that only works on highly reflective targets. Nevertheless, this is a big improvement from the first generation, which was able to measure maximum of 1,600 yards. The binocular's ability to display distance is influenced by many factors, such as the size and shape of objects observed and weather conditions. I tested this today from our showroom and I got a maximum of 2,300 meters. For anything above that, the ambiental conditions must be perfect. Also, huge distances will only be displayed if you range a highly reflective target. For deer-sized animals, you can expect a maximum reading of around 1,500 yards, which translates to 1,370 meters. Nevertheless, the ranging capability has been greatly improved from the first generation, and distances are now up to 1,000 meters displayed in decimal numbers. I'm not sure that this was the case with the first generation. I would have to check that out, but I think that it is also something that Vortex brought new. The Fury features scan mode, which is great when the target is moving or where you want to know the distance to a very small object. In that case, you can just scan the surroundings to get a desired distance. Scan mode with the second generation works incredibly quick. In it, the distance is updated 4 times per second, which is extraordinary and definitely much faster than on Gen 1. What about the optical characteristics? Well, optically the binoculars are quite decent. Since the laser is integrated into the optical part, we can expect these to provide images of the same quality as this type of binoculars without laser rangefinder, in this price range of course. I could see bluish tint when looking through the dry tube, and you can expect these to be as bright in dusk as standard binoculars again, in the same price range. Vortex uses some coatings. With them they try to tackle this problem. So first we have the XR lens coatings. These increase the light transmission, provide greater clarity, and then on the outer surfaces of the lenses, ArmorTech is applied, which is a coating that was already used on Gen 1. It protects external parts of the lenses from abrasion, oil and dirt. For now, only one configuration is available, 10x42. At 10 times magnification combined with 42mm objective lenses, this is the most popular configuration on the market, which is probably the case why they only manufacture this model. The field of view is around 105 meters on 1000 meters, which is decent, but nothing special for a 10x42. What is also new is that the second generation comes with Vortex Glasspak binocular harness, which I have right here. The design of the harness is really nice. It comes in sandy color. There is a Vortex logo on it. The interior is nicely padded, which means that your binoculars are nicely protected during transport. On the sides there are some extra pockets for storing small objects, and you can connect the binocular harness to straps provided in the box. All in all, this is a really nice harness to have, and instructions of how to install the strap are also provided in the box on this piece of paper right here. And you can see here on this image that the harness is really practical. Now that I've started mentioning things that come with it, okay, let's go through all. We get the device, the binocular harness, the harness installation guide. Then you also get the instructions for use for the binocular. Let's go through a few pages. Then you also get a bunch of straps, a CR2 battery, covers for the lenses. First, these are the objective lens covers made out of rubber. Each piece is individual, so for each lens individually. And then we have the ocular cover, which is also made out of rubber, but is made out of one piece. What's perhaps the most important is that these binoculars are covered with Vortex VIP warranty, which is a world famous warranty, great warranty terms, which convince a lot of people, if they're not already decided for Vortex, to go for their products. The price is around 1,450 euros. Now, I said at the beginning that I will do a short recap of the differences between the first and the second generation, and I think that now is the time. The ranging capability has been raised from 1,600 yards to maximum 5,000 yards. The scan mode operates much faster, provides 4 readings per second. These allow the user to switch between best mode and last mode, which also wasn't possible with Gen 1. There are now some minor details, some minor changes on the outer appearance. Here the Vortex is written and here the HD 5000 is added. And we get a Vortex Glasspak harness, which is also a great addition, a very, very practical case. What I'm not sure is that was already possible, that was already included in the first gen, is that these provide numbers in decimal numbers in decimals for readings up to 1,000 meters. I'm not sure that first generation was capable of that. I would have to check. But yes, this is also something that I think is new. Okay, now that we are at the end of this video, let's go through some advantages and some things that could be improved still. What I think is great, and I already mentioned it a couple of times today, is the scan mode, incredibly quick, 4 readings per second. Then the measuring range of 5,000 yards, even though I got a maximum of 2,300 meters from our showroom. I think that if the ambiental conditions were perfect and everything else, that I could get a much higher reading. But you have to keep in mind to arrange a highly reflective target at such distance. But still, a great improvement from the first generation, and in the last couple of years the technology has really moved forward in this area. And then also the distances to 1,000 meters, which are displayed in decimal numbers, so the laser is really accurate. What could be improved? So the Gen 2 still does not have a ballistic calculator, and I really wouldn't expect one at this price point if it wasn't for 6 Hour, which launched the 3,000 kilo BDX also this year. It costs around 100 euros more, but you can connect it with an app where you can create your ballistic profile and transfer information to your binoculars. The rangefinder then displays the distance and the amount of MOA or mil needed first for elevation and then for windage. Here you really have to decide what is more important to you, having a ballistic calculator or really great warranty terms, and based on that you have to make a decision whether you would like to have a Vortex or a 6 Hour. There are also some other binoculars that use the similar or the same form factor. The Thales Helia rangefinder is also in this price range, a similar device that you can also consider. Moving back to this binocular, well, another disadvantage would be bulkiness because of these 2 bulbs on the bottom. Plenty of manufacturers still have trouble hiding the software and the laser system discreetly in the housing, and the Gen 2 still has these bulbs. Then the third one would be the bluish tint seen through the right tube, which of course affects the overall optical experience, also diminishes the light transmission rate. Optically, these are not on the same level as some European laser rangefinding binoculars. You have to know this, but they are slowly getting there. Well, if you're looking for laser rangefinding binoculars with big distance ranging capability that provide equivalent horizontal range, and if great warranty terms are important for you, then this is a great choice. Even though the Gen 2 has some improvements over the first generation, quite many improvements regarding the software. These binoculars still do not have a ballistic calculator, but they do have great warranty terms, and that might be one of the reasons why these are perfect for you. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video. If you have any additional questions, drop a comment down in the comment section. Check out our other videos on laser range finding binoculars and Vortex products, and see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.